Hello, this is Troy Espy. I am a librarian at UW-Stevens Point. My contact information is on the screen, and I do encourage you to reach out to me if you have any questions. This video will address the health psychology activity assignment. That assignment is a 1 to 2 page research paper, and for that paper you will identify a health disparity among a specific population. So an example of a health disparity would be might be the high rates of diabetes among African Americans. And then once you've selected your disease or health behavior and you've selected your specific population, you must find health statistics that demonstrate a disparity. And you must also find sources that identify potential causes or risk factors for that disparity. So risk factors could include poverty or healthcare access, nutrition, and sometimes genetics. So for this video, we're really going to concentrate on helping you find credible sources for health statistics and for identifying potential causes of health disparities. To make this assignment a little bit easier, I've created an online guide. You can access the online guide directly from the address on the screen, and I'll also show you how to access the course guide from the UW-SP Library's website. To access the course guide from the UW-SP Library's website, you want to click on this tab here called Research Guides. So I'm going to click on that. So I clicked on Research Guides, and that takes you to this web page. And then you'll notice at the top of this web page there is a pull-down menu that says By Course. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that pull-down menu. And then I'm going to scroll down here to HPW 290 Health Psychology Activity Meyer. So I'm going to select that course. And then you do have to click on the Go button. So this is a course guide created specifically for this assignment, and I encourage you to use this course guide to find credible sources for the research paper. However, before we go looking for sources, I want to emphasize this yellow bar across the top of the web page. These are the different ways that you can ask UW-SP librarians for help with this assignment. You can hit us up on chat, you can email us, and you can even text us. So if you're having trouble finding statistics or credible sources about a health condition, I strongly encourage you to get in touch with us. Accurate statistics can be difficult to find, even for librarians. It seems like statistics are scattered across multiple government agencies, and it's hard to know which agencies are responsible for which statistics. It definitely can be a guessing game. Health statistics are no different. In fact, finding accurate health statistics can be especially challenging. So, for example, if you wanted to know the percentage of Hmong teenagers who suffer from attention deficit disorder, that data probably exists somewhere, but you might have to do a lot of digging to find it. Also, statistics sometimes are hard to understand. Sometimes they are way too broad, and then other times they are way too specific. Worse yet, sometimes statistics are presented in confusing spreadsheets that can be tricky to navigate. So it's okay to get frustrated, and it's okay to ask a librarian for help. Statistics are something we've all struggled with. Now, to help you find health statistics, I've listed several government agencies that provide health data in this box in the left column. Now, depending on your disease and specific population, you may have to try searching several of them. If you are searching a Wisconsin population, though, I highly recommend this last link here, Wisconsin Department of Health Services Data and Statistics. It is awesome. I wish there were a national website like Wisconsin, but if one exists, I have not been able to find it. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go back to the top and I'm going to click on this report titled Health United States 2018. And if I click on this image, it will open a 65-page report published by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. This report contains statistics for health disparities for several different types of conditions. Now, 65 pages sounds overwhelming, but you don't need to read the entire report. In fact, you probably need only one page of it. What I suggest is starting at the table of contents. So I am going to scroll down to the table of contents here. So this is the table of contents. And then once you're at the table of contents, you can browse through the different health conditions and see if yours is listed or if there is a health condition that you would like to choose for your topic. So some topics include infant mortality. Okay, down here's obesity, asthma. We'll look at that in just a little bit. High blood pressure, vaccinations, etc. You kind of get the idea. Now if you go to the next page of this report, you will see a list of graphics for those same health conditions. And then you can click on a figure to go straight to that chart. Now, unfortunately, some of these charts are broken out only by sex and age. However, some of the charts include race. So let's take a closer look at one. Let's say that you were interested in asthma in children. Okay, so you could click here on figure 9 and jump straight to that chart about asthma among children. So I'm going to click on here, figure 9. And then there is the chart, and it is separated by race. And then below that is a brief description describing the findings. Now if you look at this chart, you will see that black children suffer from asthma at much higher rates than white and Latino children. So that would be a reliable data proving a health disparity. Now this graphic is pretty simple. If you wanted more specific numbers, there are tables below, listed below the graphics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this link to say see data table for figure 9. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. The report is going to jump to the table, and then this table here is going to give specific numbers over a 10-year period. Okay. But even though it's more in depth, it's still pretty easy to understand. Okay, so this health report may help several of you in this class. However, many of you may still need to search other government agencies to find data. I or other UWSP librarians can help you do that. Once you've selected a health disparity, you want to find credible information about the disease or behavior. You're looking for risk factors or potential causes that might affect your specific population. So throughout this course guide, I've listed several resources for finding credible information about diseases, health behaviors, and their potential causes. So down here are some more government websites for you to explore. If I go back up to the top, you'll see that the library subscribes to several health databases. I particularly like the first two databases, Credo Reference and Salem Press. They're easy to search and they provide credible overviews of many health topics. Now, while I was creating this online guide, if I found a reference article that dealt with health disparities, I included direct links over in this box. You can just click on a link to access the article. You will need to log in with your UWSP password if you're off campus. Most of these articles are only a couple pages and easy to understand. Finally, I want to explore ebooks. Students sometimes are afraid of ebooks, but they can be quite helpful once you get the hang of them. So I listed links to several health ebooks in this box. Now, I particularly like this first ebook here titled Community and Family Health Issues, and it's by Salem Press. Now, you can access this ebook by clicking on this image, or you can just click on the ebook title. Again, you will need to log in with your UWSP password if you're off campus. I'm going to go ahead and click on the ebook title. And so that is going to bring me access to the ebook Salem Health Community and Family Health Issues. Now, you can search within the ebook right over here in the search bar, or you can browse through the table of contents. And if you browse through the table of contents, you'll see that this ebook addresses many kinds of diseases and health behaviors, and sometimes it also addresses specific populations as well. Now, if your population is military personnel or veterans, there are a lot of entries about their health and the risk factors that they face. So I'm going to scroll down here to the M's. Okay. And here you'll see a lot of the different military personnel and veterans entries. The one that I'm going to look at more closely is this one here, military personnel and veterans depression. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this article. Okay. And then once we're inside the article, what you're going to see here is just kind of a general overview of the health condition. Okay. And then if you scroll down a little bit, it actually does provide health statistics. In fact, it says here that military personnel who have been deployed to combat zones suffer from depression almost twice the national average. So it's definitely showing a health disparity there. And then if you keep going on here, the article lists some of the potential causes for depression among military personnel. Those causes include trauma, obviously, if you've been deployed to a combat zone, but other causes can include social support or perhaps a prior history of depression. So this article is only a few pages, but it contains a lot of helpful information for your research paper. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. If you need any help with this research assignment, please do not hesitate to contact me or any of the UWSP librarians.